This week on the show, the Warner's Discovery buyout, the death of Tron, and Deepak takes us to a galaxy far, far away. In a revisitation of Deepak Star Wars Corner, it's time for another episode of Nerd It Here Weekly. Bruno, do the thing.
We're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
It's better not awaken anything in me.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can't even be responsible for my own breakfast.
We have Santa Claus. Assemble.
Ooh, welcome to Nerd It Here Weekly, a podcast about the week's biggest stories in nerdy news. I'm Riley Trahan, Senior Entertainment Editor at Nerd It Here First, and, as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Deepak Chitnis.
I'm an AI creation that can only be here for 29 minutes.
Bruno Manessas.
Ocean waves.
And, thick as a castle wall, Jackson Strahan.
Hello. Here to do a podcast.
Here to do a podcast where we didn't even have time to talk about. Nowhere in our show notes today does Night of the Seven Kingdoms appear. We don't even have time to talk about it.
Then what the hell are we doing?
What are we doing right now?
Well, see, I've snuck it in a little bit here.
There you go.
I've sort of found a way to get to it anyway. If you want to hear Jackson and I have a very spoilery discussion about what we expect from the first season of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, getting into the book content, etc., might I suggest you subscribe to this very podcast wherever you find your very podcasts. Could be on your podcast catcher of choice, Nerd Here Weekly. Could be on YouTube, youtube.com/@nerditherefirst. Could be on our website, nihf.com. Type in your email, hit subscribe. Could be on social media, @nerditherefirst, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, X, whatever.
Absolutely.
I've been meaning to do that at the top of the show, and hey, we did it. And look at that. It's an organic plug because you can come and hear Jack and I talk about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We'll do a spoiler-free first half. We'll do a spoilery second half. There'll be something for everybody. If you like Game of Thrones, come hang out with us. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be fun. It'll be sort of like the show because there's two of us, and we're having a great time.
Exactly, and I'm your squire.
You can be my tiny boy squire. All right. We have a lot of news to get to, guys. We have to talk about Lawrence Fishburne wanting to be Professor Xavier in the MCU. That's going to be a whole thing. We have to go on a side tangent.
First, we have to get through our legally mandated Lawrence Fishburne segment every episode.
But before we do any of that, can I please totally take us on a tangent and tell you guys about the viewing experience I had last night and kind of a larger Halloween watch project I have going on right now?
Yeah,
You saw Lawrence Fishburne last night?
No, this is unrelated to the Lawrence Fishburne news, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I decided this year that one of the things I wanted to do was, every year I sort of I'll watch different Halloween movies, right? Or I'll watch different sort of horror movies or horror adjacent movie things. I kind of just decide for myself, this is what this year's Halloween watch project is going to be. So this year I am doing not all the Universal monster movies, but the Universal monster movies that are sort of part of the shared Universal monster universe.
Yes,
So
that's right.
This
The OG Dark Universe.
This is all building up to, of course, the Avengers of this project, the Infinity War of this project. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. But I'm in like the middle section of it right now. We're sort of ramping up to that. And these are obviously films from a time that were much more centered around actors than like IP, right? So despite the fact that we are absolutely milking all of these monster IP dry, repeating stories sort of ad nauseum and really getting into some serious sequel problems, the appeal is that like now you're going to see Basil Rathbone play the son of Frankenstein, right? And that's what's interesting for audiences and why they want to come. So last night, I watched Son of Frankenstein. That's the picture's title. It's the third movie in the Frankenstein series. It comes in between
Frankenstein fucks now.
It comes between Bride of Frankenstein and Ghost of Frankenstein.
Oh my god!
Frankenstein doesn't do premarital.
Giving up the whole plot.
Well, and crucially, while Bride of Frankenstein titularly refers to the monster, son of Frankenstein titularly refers to the scientist. So
Oh.
it's about the offspring of, not Victor Frankenstein, because he's not named
What
Victor
about
in
Ghost
these
of
movies,
Frankenstein?
but it's about the son of Victor Frankenstein coming back to this city, called Frankenstein, where he grew up, where all his deeds were done or whatever.
The
And sort of
city is
having
also
to,
called
Is
Frankenstein.
that canon?
is called Son of Frankenstein. Oh, the city. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you see it on the train station when he pulls into the train station.
Oh.
It says Frankenstein.
Like,
And
my
it's actually,
hometown.
I will give it. This is the one good gag in the movie, which kind of drags, but there's a reason we're going to talk about it. Up front, they discuss in the train car, the son of Frankenstein and his wife are talking about how now even people call the monster, they call the monster Frankenstein. But so what he says is, yeah, the Basil Rathbone says people now even call that monster, and then the train conductor walking down the hallway says Frankenstein, Frankenstein, because they're pulling into the station.
Mhm.
But it's like, well, the one good gag. Most of the movie's very boring. As it has the problem that it has is it has Basil Rathbone as the son of Frankenstein, and it has Bela Lugosi as Igor. This is the introduction of Igor, like as a character, and then it also has Boris Karloff as the monster Frankenstein, right? So, just all those actors need their own thing. We have to do this whole weird B plot with Igor, who apparently was like hanged and pronounced dead but didn't die, and like we have to kind of do a whole side tangent where the local Eastern European legal system has to decide how to like handle the continued existence of this man. Everyone wanted dead, pardon me.
That's his first like appearance.
Does he have the hunchback and all that?
The character is in a way in the earlier movies. I don't think he's called Igor, and he's definitely not played by Bela Lugosi. But again, there's not a lot of continuity between these films. The reason I wanted to bring it up is several times throughout the movie, I went, I haven't seen this before, right? Like there were just little weird things, like, and this will be
Like deja vu.
This will be where you're smarter than me because I'm a dumb idiot. There was like a police constable that had a fake arm that like had to like adjust his arm to like do the stuff, and there was like a sequence where he was throwing darts at a board, really weird.
This is stupid.
And
This
there
is
was
a stupid bit.
no, but it's not, Jackson. It's not a
Is
bit.
this a comedy?
No, this is the point I'm trying to get at. I'm watching this movie the whole time, not connecting that this is the movie Young Frankenstein is lampooning. I am watching like the original, like this is what the gag is.
This is
the
what Mel
making
Brooks
fun
was
of this
going
movie.
after. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is, so watching this movie is just like watching Young Frankenstein, but without the jokes. It's just like it's like somebody airlifted all the humor out of Young Frankenstein, and that is what Jack thought I was like pretending like I didn't know Son of Frankenstein was.
I thought you had taken us like fully around the pier.
Yeah. No. This is a film starring Basil Rathbone. It's just that, like, I'm not a huge Gene Wilder guy. I'm not a huge like that. For a lot of reasons, Young Frankenstein just not exactly my movie. So I've seen it like once or twice. But so I'm watching Son of Frankenstein, and I'm like sort of clocking the gags, but not 100%. And it was pretty far in that I was like, oh, Young Frankenstein. That's what this movie like. And it is really just, once I realized it, it is fully just beat for beat, start to finish. That's what this movie was. So it was a very odd experience.
Well, now I'm intrigued.
I'll now be moving on to House of Dracula, I think is next. I don't know. I'm really in it. But anyway, I just really wanted to tell you guys about my weird Frankenstein watching experience from last night. Now we can get to the news. As promised, let's start with the Lawrence Fishburne update. At the New York City Comic-Con this month, Lawrence Fishburne told an onlooking audience, quote, "I know they're talking about the X-Men now, so at this point, I want one of two things. The first thing would be, what do you think about Lawrence Fishburne as Professor Xavier?" And the crowd applauded. And this sort of got people discussing whether or not Lawrence Fishburne could play Professor Xavier in the MCU. As noted in our group chat, as well as other places online, Fishburne has already appeared in the MCU as Dr. Bill Foster in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but presumably post a Universal reboot that brings a new Professor Xavier and a new team of X-Men into the world, this might not be a problem. Deepak, what do you make of Fishburne's chances of cracking the MCU as our lead telepath?
I don't know what to make of his chances. I would say they're slim just sort of by default. Having said that, he's a very good actor. I would have no problem with him playing Xavier. I don't think there's anything about him as an actor or certainly an appearance that would preclude him from playing the role. It seems like anyone who is bald or has been bald on screen at any point in their career, much like any young Brit who wears a tux, is automatically connected to James Bond. That seems to be the thing with either Lex Luthor or Charles Xavier. There are probably other actors who would be at least as good, if not better, but I think we're probably past the point of someone like Mark Strong or Bryan Cranston being in the running for something that's going to start now and go for another 10 or 15 years, presumably. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I always love me some Morpheus.
Bruno, I don't know if a Lawrence Fishburne Professor Xavier opens up the gate any wider for my dream of a Denzel Washington Magneto, but it sort of in classic schoolyard style of saying, you know, I'll play kickball if you get enough people to play kickball. I'll take Lawrence Fishburne Xavier if it gets me Denzel Washington Magneto. What says you to my trade?
I will continue to say that there's still a glaringly
You're
problematic
still
issue.
out on Black Magneto. You still think it fundamentally doesn't work. Interesting.
I just think it will be a little bit problematic. I just think there will be people that will be up in arms, like people aside from the people that we don't like.
Yeah, no, very fair. Yeah, we definitely can't just let those people run the show. Well, okay.
It strikes me a little bit as the way, you know, when they cast Pedro as Mr. Fantastic. I think Pedro's a good actor. I think he did a good job of playing the version of Reed Richards that is in Fantastic Four First Steps. I still cannot really square that version of Reed Richards with the version that I know from the comics and cartoons. But for the sake of the MCU, I think it works just fine, and I could see Lawrence Fishburne and Denzel Washington being the same way.
And that's
they're
sort of
not
where
necessarily,
I am.
Like they're not the ones that we know, but they're perfectly good ones in their own right.
This seemed pretty out of left field to me, and I think from my perspective, this just seemed like Lawrence Fishburne trying to drum up a little bit of a, you know, bump for his, you know, quote or whatever. Which I'm totally here for that. Lawrence Fishburne, get your bag, quote me on it, put it on the poster.
I mean, he got into the John Wick movies by asking Keanu Reeves to put him in the John Wick movie, so it has worked for him in the past.
Yeah, I'd be here very happy with Lawrence Fishburne as Xavier, honestly.
And by the way, I think he'd be a good Magneto too, if that's what they wanted to do.
He said the rest of his quote at the Comic-Con was that at this point he described Professor Xavier as, quote, the most appropriate character for me to play at the age that I am at this point, and for the kind of roles that I am known for. And I do sort of agree that, like, his vibe as an Xavier, you know, part of why I like the appeal, or why I find it appealing to have Denzel as Magneto, is I think that, like, his role, like, I think of Magneto as a very
totally
Malcolm X character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I just sort of want just the Malcolm X performance again, but as
right.
is like a thing that I would personally like to request. I think that Lawrence Fishburne as Xavier is a pretty clean character. Like I think you see that pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, thoughts?
I mean, it can't happen now, but I still think that my Black Professor Xavier would have been Lance Reddick.
And then Jack made everybody on the podcast sad.
Well, I didn't. You asked.
All right. Well, we will hear. We'll move on to other news of MCU comebacks come and gone. We got news of a new Sam Raimi picture coming up, fellas. This one starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, titled Send Help, set to hit theaters January 30th, 2026. Stars McAdams and O'Brien as co-workers. O'Brien, the sort of toxic boss to Rachel McAdams in their work environment. And when their private jet goes down over the ocean, and they are the two only survivors on a deserted island, McAdams flips the script on O'Brien, asserting her dominance in the survival situation as he
She gets bitten by
recovers.
a radioactive spider?
Well, he recovers from a broken limb. It is.
So I didn't watch the trailer for this. I'm going off of your description of it and a joke I was about to make. But is this Sam Raimi's autobiography of working on Doctor Strange 2? He was in a toxic relationship with Marvel and asked people to send help.
Oh, wow.
That would be very interesting.
And he's got Rachel McAdams in it.
I will say, watching the trailer,
Rachel
the
McAdams
easy
is there.
comparison, the easy read that I had was it sort of reads like it is Triangle of Sadness for the populist masses.
Yeah.
You know, it is deserted tropical island paradise, but also stuck with my boss, but also not confined by the rules. And maybe
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It seems good and exciting, and I'm always excited for a new Sam Raimi movie. But, I think that's sort of where my thoughts begin and end on it. Does anybody else have more to add to the discussion of send help? I'll be there. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure. It's hard to say. We don't know too much, and even the cast list is tremendously short, probably because it just will be. But it sounds interesting enough.
Jack, how familiar are you with the Sam Raimi filmography?
He did the zombie ones, and then the Spider-Man, and then
He did an Oz
probably
picture
some other
in there
stuff.
somewhere.
But I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup.
I mean, that's pretty comprehensive. You got a lot of his movies.
Is it? Oh, fair enough.
I mean, you've knocked out a lot of films in a relatively small amount of words.
Thank you. I like my efficiency. Oh, he did that Oz movie.
With Franco, yeah.
Yeah, he did do that.
He did A Simple Plan, which is probably his best movie.
Simple Plan, one of them sack full of money movies.
It's very Coen-y,
Love a sack full of money.
including the cast.
Right.
Well, he wasn't a Coen. He was the other way around. The Coens were a him guy, right? Wasn't it like the Coens got their start because Raimi plugged them in somewhere or something?
I don't know about that. I know Barry Sonnenfeld used to be the Coen's DP before becoming the director of Men in Black and all that.
Yeah. Well, regardless, always exciting. Hope this movie looks good. This movie looks good. Hope it is good. I liked Doctor
film
Strange.
Was co-written with the then unknown Coen brothers.
Okay.
So they sort of came up together, perhaps.
There you go. Maybe that's what I was more looking for. All right. Well, next in the roundup, we have dropped the Plus from Apple TV Plus, presumably because it is cleaner. But it is also more confusing because now the streaming giant, simply called Apple TV, has the same name as the piece of hardware that Apple would prefer you watch the streaming service on.
I mean, that's by design, right?
Well, the company described the change as part of giving the service a vibrant new identity. So, I guess if that's
are these the same consultants who went from HBO Max to Max back to HBO Max?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
I don't know. They're certainly not the same ones who named F1 the movie coming to Apple TV later this year.
Right.
There was a quote from Eddie Q, who is a member of the Apple team. The decision reflected the fact that users were already referring to the service as Apple TV anyway.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Some really powerful leadership right there.
I've definitely had a conversation with my father trying to explain to him the difference between Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. So in that sense, this will help.
Well, we joked a lot. Was it last year that incredibly long Jenny Nicholson Star Wars video posted, Jack, where one of the big points that she made was you can smell an Disney industry plant from a mile away because they say things like Walt Disney World and whatever the full name of the Star Wars hotel was. They wouldn't just call it the Star Wars Hotel.
Right.
It does Apple TV Plus does sort of have industry branding all over it. So maybe this isn't the craziest of crazy renames we've heard, but did make me laugh. I am with you. It's a little bit HBO Maxy. Maybe Apple's the next.
I feel like they just need to be the newest headline.
So will Paramount Plus now just become Paramount?
Is this just how everybody does it? You change your name
E.
to have
Disney
your
Plus.
turn be in the crosshairs? Well, speaking of P, my favorite streaming service, P Plus. We got update this week. Deepak slowly slipping through time, losing hold on reality itself as we discover more and more about this Warner Brothers sale that he continually claims he's read all these articles about before. Deepak, why don't you update us about the Paramount story?
I'm not the right person to do this because I swear 2 weeks ago we knew that Paramount was trying to buy Warner Brothers.
No, yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers had said that the offer was too low. They undervalued the share price, something. So now I guess they're making it official by going on the market, and Paramount is now officially interested in buying them. But I thought we knew all this, so that's where I am, and time is a flat circle. I have no idea what's going on.
Listen, man, they're all it's all executives calling each other.
Yeah, it's just one big money ball happening right now. Like Brad Pitt's on the phone in the Oakland A's office.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's like, this is where I like to make all my calls.
I got Star Trek here.
Movie.
You want off? Give me 5. Let me see what I can do. So where we are, in case anyone was trying to pay attention, is that Warner Brothers Discovery initially rebuffed a Paramount Skydance offer that was around $20 a share.
That's what I was remembering.
Right.
Which they said was low. That news came out sort of immediately before, as Deepak said, the official announcement that Warner Brothers Discovery was for sale, that it was considering offers it was receiving, that it was likely going to sell. There was a report in the Times all about that, talking about how it was, that they were likely going to split off the streaming side from the cable, or from the film production side, maybe sell things in chunks like that. They sounded hopeful that Netflix, Amazon, or Apple might buy the streaming group, although executives at Netflix were adamant they were not in the buying business. Meanwhile, they seemed hopeful that their movie-making company might be interesting to someone like a Paramount, who is in the movie-making business and maybe not doing a great job at it these days. I think that's sort of where everything stands right now. So consolidation coming finally.
The most interesting thing to me is that Warner Brothers is coming off of their best year in a long, long time.
Right.
And if there's any time to sell, it's to sell when you're coming off the heels of Minecraft, Sinners, One Battle After Another, and everything else they've had this year that's really Superman and everything else that's really done great at the box office. So strike while the iron's hot. That makes a lot of sense to me. Paramount, I don't know where they're getting the cash from, but if I understood money, I wouldn't be doing a podcast right now. So
yeah, I think that it is also sort of just the corporate forces are aligning for them, right? Like they redid all their internal structures earlier this year. They kind of sort of finally settled on who was in charge of what and who had which stock options and who did or didn't have to go down with which various ships. And Zaslav sort of had all his stuff in a pile. And yeah, now it seems like this era of it is over. I wonder if they will be more successful being bought by a movie studio than when Coca-Cola or Sony or somebody like that buys a movie studio and then inevitably sells it, 5 years later because it's just not working out for them.
Right.
I do think there's a lot of interesting stuff they can do with IP there. I mean, you're basically combining. I mean, Paramount's going to have so much under their belt.
Batman can meet the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be Transformers.
There's gonna be no more understanding of truth now that 60 Minutes and CNN are gonna be owned by the same company or whatever. But Batman can meet the Ninja Turtles, so that's great. All right. And finally, in the roundup this week, our dumbest story of the week by a country mile, a verdict in the case of the missing pumpkin faces. A judge has ruled that Hershey customers weren't really tricked by Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. On September 19th,
I was deceived.
On September 19th, Florida judge dismissed a lawsuit brought against Hershey's last year, accusing the confectionery company of deceptive marketing for various Reese's peanut butter products, including Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. In her ruling, U.S. District Judge Melissa Damian said the plaintiff, for people who purchased Reese's peanut butter products in 2023, did not provide enough evidence to allege economic injury. The customers claimed they
I've been
purchased
injured economically
the customer
by the lack of
claimed
faces.
they purchased the chocolate because of quote unquote cool packaging and were disappointed to find blank chocolates inside the wrappers.
I demand they carve faces
Well,
on
here's
all
the-
of the Christmas trees. That's recompense.
So
Well-
going by the pumpkin one, if they had carved the faces into the chocolate, you're technically getting less chocolate, right? And by not
But
carving
you wouldn't
the
have
face
bought
in
it if you didn't.
Hey.
If you knew it didn't have a thick ass pumpkin face on it,
hey,
because
I
that's
just-
why you buy chocolate, right?
I'm just
I like the way
reminded.
Deepak thinks.
I'm reminded of the
Not even bad.
legal precedent set by the Ana de Armas trailer scandal from John Wick 3, was it?
No, it was one of the Keanu Reeves movies that she did. Not John Wick, sorry.
Yeah, it's like am I having a
Wait, what?
It was like Knock Knock or something, sorry. Yeah. I realized it was stupid as I said it. I was like, wait, hold on.
No, not John Wick. It was the Keanu Reeves.
Keanu.
Matrix Resurrections or something, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just remembered that of like, what is this? Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is odd. Now that you bring it up for plaintiffs, it is sort of weird, I guess, that they have the face on the packaging and not on the actual guy.
It is weird. I don't disagree with that. Like it feels abnormal, but you know.
Don't they typically put a disclaimer
How
on there?
much chocolate did you buy that you like stand to sue and pay a lawyer and profit off of it?
Clearly not enough to provide evidence of economic injury.
But don't they typically provide some sort of disclaimer, like there's enlarged to show texture or actual item may
Yeah,
look
but they
different?
didn't put the disclaimer. It says no real faces, though.
They have that now.
It is a frivolous lawsuit, but it is not an incorrect one, I think, on its face.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Yeah. Now there's a little thing in the corner that says decorating suggestion or whatever.
Faces ain't real,
Yep.
baby.
Looking
Don't
at it right
effing
now.
sue us.
Decorating suggestion. In Japan, I think there's regulations on size, like showing, like I think it has to be like actual size if you put like the food on the package.
Yeah, I've seen
Oh,
like all the pictures have to be very close to accurate.
All right.
They couldn't put faces.
well, I
on
do
nothing
appreciate
there.
that.
So there you go. That's the roundup. When we get back, Deepak's going to take us to Star Wars Corner. And we're back.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys give me Star Wars corner stuff to do. I freaking hate Star Wars. It's my least favorite thing in the world. I can't stand Star Wars.
There he is.
Yeah, so Star Wars Corner this week, we'll start with a article that came out, I believe, in Fortune that basically goes over some tax returns that Disney has filed because a lot of their production takes place in the UK, and this stuff becomes public after a certain amount of time. This is how we found out, for example, these are not Disney movies, but the last couple of Jurassic World sequels, not the most recent one, but Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, cost a whopping $450 to $500 million a piece to make, making them now the second and third most expensive movie ever made, because the most expensive movie ever made, it turns out, is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, coming in at just under $600 million US dollars.
What a good way to spend $600 million.
Listen, this episode is going to be a lot about Disney wasting money, but Jesus Christ.
It blows my mind that a movie can cost that much, especially a movie. I mean, it's not good. But it also does not look like a $600 million movie. And
I wonder if you gave me $600 million and asked me to make as many people hate a movie as much as possible, if I could achieve what they have done.
This is a
Can we
skill
just can I
possessed
can we
by
just
a very few people, and they all work for Disney.
I just because I thought it would be interesting, Googled $600 million while we were talking here.
To see what Google would say back.
Okay.
Can I hit you with just a couple?
How many endgames
Yeah.
is that?
It's the amount of money that Colorado Democrats are seeking in restoration in federal funding for their energy project.
Sure.
Worthwhile.
Cool.
Speaking of sacks of money movies, in August, a Colombian farmer found $600 million buried in a bag on his farm.
It fits in one
That's
bag?
great.
Well, I
Did he go
I
on
guess I don't know how many
Star Wars
bags. It
movie
was
with
buried
this?
on his farm. It was theorized to have belonged to Pablo Escobar.
It's a good theory.
Not to get too political, it's also apparently reportedly Donald Trump's income from crypto, golf clubs, licensing, and other ventures in public finance. All right, let's get back to the fun stuff. Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't
They
have the
spent
article up in
$600
front
million
of me.
on that bad Star Wars movie. Well, how much of it went to what's his name? The little guy.
Development costs for
No.
Trevorrow
The little man. The small man with the funny voice.
Oh, Babu Frick?
Yeah,
Why do
I
I know
liked
that
him.
name? I hate that I know that name.
Yeah, how much of it went to Babu Frick? Because I did like him. He was everything I wanted Craig to be.
Daniel Craig, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the article up in front of me because I almost fell off my chair when I read that number. I do think some of it went into the development costs for what was going to be, I think, Episode 9, Duel of the Fates, directed by Colin Trevorrow, bringing it back to Jurassic World, which didn't happen because Disney decided to be overreactionary to the backlash against Episode 8, brought J.J. Abrams in to save things, fix things, and that's why we got a $600 million culmination of 3 trilogies that have been pop culture phenomenons for 40 years, and nobody likes them. It is shocking to me that it would cost that much. I don't know what more there really is to say about that. I know they got some rebates and they got some other stuff due to various production and tax incentives, filming in Wadi Rum for the flying stormtrooper chase that's coming off the top of my head. But yeah, somehow it cost $600 million.
Do you think that Colin Trevorrow movie would have been better?
The outline I read was at least a little bit more cohesive than. I don't know if the movie would have been quote unquote good, but
I think it would have been.
I remember it reaching a more logical conclusion than what we got.
Yes, the thing that I read did not have any of the Palpatine stuff.
Correct.
Which I do think is
right. I think
which
that's
is
I
really
think
where a lot of
Leia
it
was a
falls
little more
apart
of an
for me.
active participant as well.
And
which
this is,
obviously had to
a big
change.
question that I think will sort of, even with this stuff coming out, one of the things that I think will forever be a mystery is how much Carrie Fisher's passing and in what capacity sort of permanently impacted that movie. Obviously the backlash to Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi was the predominant force in what made Rise of Skywalker the sort of terrible bastardization that it was. But the tragic passing of Carrie Fisher before she could really film much of anything for that movie, when that was clearly sort of set up to be the Carrie
She hadn't
Fisher
filmed
movie of
anything
that
for it.
trilogy, I think is really, really tough.
Right.
I do though think that probably, and this is hard for me to say. I do think the Trevorrow thing probably ends up being the better movie, even in the reality that it ends up being made in, than the Abrams thing that we end up getting. It leaves a bad taste. I mean, we litigate this every time. We don't this is the joke of Deepak Star Wars Corner, is that start talking about Star Wars, you instantly get sucked into the same 8 conversations over and over again.
Right.
It is, I don't think the fact that the Abrams thing just totally kind of shafts all of The Last Jedi, I think, is the problem with that movie more than anything else. Like the fact that Rise of Skywalker pretends like Last Jedi doesn't really fundamentally exist,
Right.
I think is the great sin of that picture. That, and apparently the fact that it cost over $500 million.
But the other thing is that what I was thinking of before we started recording is you use the typical 2.5x multiplier to determine whether or not a movie is broken even. And I believe Rise of Skywalker ended up grossing about $1.1 billion, which even at the time I remember people saying, oh, that's relatively low for a Star Wars movie. But that means Solo lost money, Episode 9 lost money, And they are still pouring money into Disney streaming shows that, again, I haven't watched. I can't speak to the quality of them. But, of course, Acolyte was not received well. Boba Fett was not received well. Mandalorian, despite what's coming down the road in a few months here, has obviously lost some fans. Obi-Wan was not really received well. At a certain point, Disney needs to understand that there is a quantity and quality nexus that you've passed. And you're pouring good money after bad when less is more. I know that doesn't square with corporate capitalism, but you are doing long-term damage to a brand that, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, for 40 years we have been led to expect a Star Wars movie in a certain cadence, right? It's once every 3 years. It's a big build-up to it. It's an event. They go away for a while, 10 years, 15 years. They come back. Oh, my God, we're getting episode 1. Oh, my God, we're getting episode 7. This is amazing. We don't have that anymore. And whether that's the fault of the marketplace or the people making the content, at a certain point, they probably need to know that less is more, and we shouldn't be making this much Star Wars stuff, which probably brings us to the next part of Star Wars Corner, which is Bob Iger doesn't know how to run Disney and or Star Wars anymore.
No. And one more point that I wanted to put on that last thing that is true in this umbrella that you've just cast before you get more into the details, is that everyone should know that despite the fact that it cost $593.7 million, apparently The Rise of Skywalker still came in under budget. Which
it's wild. That means they had earmarked even more, which is nuts.
Which, to Deepak's point, is evidence that Bob Iger doesn't know how to run this goddamn company anymore.
No, Bob Iger, for lack of a better word, is a bitch. He has spent the entire time that he has come back to Disney effectively saying that he is here to be the savior. He's here to right the ship. Everything that went wrong was Bob Chapek's fault during COVID and this big push to get Disney Plus subscribers, and we prioritized quantity over quality, and yet in his entire tenure back, the Marvel Universe has seen diminishing returns other than Deadpool and Wolverine, which I don't really give him a lot of credit for because a lot of the work there was done under Fox. And then we come to Star Wars, where it came out this week in an interview with Adam Driver that he, along with Steven Soderbergh, an Academy Award-winning director, one of the only directors, I think maybe the only director in our lifetime who has had 2 movies up for Best Picture in the same year, and he was also nominated for Best Director for both of them, along with writer Scott Z. Burns, who Soderbergh works with frequently, including, among other projects, Contagion. The 2 of them wanted to work with Adam Driver on a movie called The Hunt for Ben Solo. This would have been a Kylo Ren / Ben Solo focused movie that takes place after Episode 9 and kind of charts Ben Solo's, I guess, redemption post his turn back to the light side when he fights alongside Rey at the end of Episode 9 and defeats the Emperor. This started in a sort of loose discussion, I believe, with Kathleen Kennedy or someone in her corner in Disney, and grew and kind of snowballed into oh my God, this is a really good idea. Oh my God, we have a really good director and writer attached to it. This could actually become a thing. But of course, old Bobby B-Dog, needs to sign off on everything. And when it got to B-Dog's desk, he, and I do sort of sympathize with him a little bit here, could not understand how you bring Kylo Ren back after the way Kylo Ren's story ended.
That's also my question.
Can I hit you with something?
One word, somehow.
Yeah. It's Star Wars. You make some dumb shit up. That'd be my pitch. The Force.
Death is but a temporary inconvenience when it comes to
fantasy. If Steven Soderbergh and
sure.
Adam Driver are coming to me saying we'd like to make a Star Wars, you let them figure it out. I mean, not to put like too fine a point on it, but I do sort of think that's what the movie would have been about. No,
right.
Well, sure.
Which is all to say that, of course, Bob Iger said, no, we're not going to take this. Actually, the first sort of cool and interesting idea we have for this franchise.
Stood up and screamed it.
Yeah, and then he went to the shower that's in his office and had to wipe off and had to just clean off all this horrible idea that had just been pitched to him.
The 2 shower
Iger
days.
has totally lost the plot on how to run this company and how to run their IPs. He has no idea what he's doing with Star Wars. He clearly has no idea what he's doing with Marvel when their best idea is to bring Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom. I mean, that may pan out fine, but until we see it, I'm going to remain as skeptical as hell. It just doesn't look like the company has any vision for the future other than mining the same crap over and over again. And I think the box office results for this year speak for themselves. We were talking about this in the chat offline. Other than Lilo and Stitch, they have had a very underwhelming... Now, Thunderbolts is a good movie, but no one showed up for it. Fantastic Four is fine. I guess people generally liked it, but it only made about 500 or 600 million, which is not much when you consider...
How much it costs, actually.
Yeah, probably. We're going to find out that, sure. I'm sure one day. Brave New World, of course, was apparently their highest-grossing Marvel movie this year, but it was also the weakest of the three.
None of this. Stitch will see you in his office at your convenience.
On a separate note, Stitch is everywhere.
Yeah,
I cannot walk 10 feet
Yes.
in this world without seeing Stitch on something.
That's why they can waste all. This is like how people are talking about how one battle after another can cost so much money and doesn't have to make anything bad. There's all these sort of interesting thought pieces out there about the ways that Warner Brothers treats the Sinners budget versus the way it treats the one battle after another budget. This is what Stitch is for. Stitch is out there doing the hard work so that the Fantastic Four can shit a brick on Labor Day. Stitch is putting in the hours, sun up to sundown, for the people. Before we move too far into the business conversation and away from the fun Star Wars conversation, my guys at Gizmodo...
I want to stay on Stitch for a second. But
we will absolutely stay on Stitch. My guys at Gizmodo did have me. Here are 12 ways that you can still be alive in the Star Wars universe. Essence transfer, cloning, the Ring of Veil, life force
Ray just
transfusion,
finger him or whatever, and then he gets better?
manipulation, conservance preservation.
I kind of like the idea that only Rey or Kylo can be alive at one time, and they just have to...
Oh, the dyad, of course.
A great point. Much like Darth Maul, you can just be really, really mad.
Someone remind me, how does Kylo Ren die in Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah,
I repressed most of that movie.
He tuckers himself out fighting Palpatine with Rey, and then he sort of
the
problem is he disappears. He becomes one with the Force. So
he
his
does
body
the Obi-Wan thing.
disappears.
So that's what. So okay. So just because I watched this movie rather recently, I was plowing through the Pirates of the Caribbean movies yesterday. So why not just do like Davy Jones' Lockers if he got pulled into the Force and like he's just making a journey through.
That is probably what they would have done in the movie.
Yeah. It's Star Wars. It's as Deepak like the whole.
It's not sci-fi. It's fantasy.
It's stupid space wizard bullshit. It doesn't. It's for children.
It doesn't
matter.
Yeah,
do Lawrence of Arabia in space or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
that actually sounds really good.
Anyway, Lilo and Stitch made over $1 billion.
Yeah, my last thing on Stitch is for the Disney historian of the group, Riley.
Oh.
Is Stitch the new Mickey Mouse?
This is an interesting problem, and we can.
I'm okay with this.
We can do a little bit of Disney history here if you'd like to talk. So, I think I was talking to my dad about this. So, if we go back to the first time Stitch sort of got his,
when he was shitting all over Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and all that,
Mickey's Beautiful Company. Yeah, right. You exactly remember this clearly, Deepak. He got in his hot rod and he flew into the sky and he
took
kidnapped Jasmine like he was Bowser and made off with
No,
her.
he didn't. She willingly went.
Right. There was definitely the implication that
cool.
She was excited.
She was into it
by the idea of her night out with Stitch. Yeah, frothing, as the kids say. So there was a time when Stitch was definitely big dogging sort of the classic Disney guys, and that was kind of the vibe of Stitch. At that time, let me see if I can pull up the date. Yeah, it's incredibly easy to find.
2002?
At that time, November 16th, 2004, Stitch did his dirty business all over Cinderella's castle in the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. He TP'd it. He spray painted the words "Stitch is King" on one of the towers, along with spray painting a little picture of himself in a crown. It was pretty great stuff
good.
from our main man Stitch.
Is he running the White House social media account?
Right, yeah, Stitch actually is Big Balls in Doge. But so the problem was, as you guys probably are aware, as I imagine you'd be aware, the Walt Disney Company is a multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate that does an incredibly huge amount of tourism business every day, and a lot of that business is based around, for example, well, people who would want to spend a lot of money on photographs, like for example, brides who want to stand in one very specific place and get one very specific picture with the castle in the background if they're choosing to get married at Disney World. And so for anybody getting married on November 16th, 2004, they got married with Stitch is King, TP, toilet paper.
Handiwork.
Yeah, toilet paper, castle.
That's actually kind of cool. Yeah.
I mean,
at least you get like a unique.
If
image.
you could have a normal amount of perspective on it, I'm sure pretty cool. If you woke up on your wedding day and saw that Stitch had showed up to personally ruin your wedding, I can imagine you might not have had a great time. I don't know if that's the reason or not, but after that, there's never really been a thing like that again after that. That was kind of like the time they goofed the last time they goofed the castle was the time Stitch got his hands on it, and they've never really gone back to doing anything like that again. Obviously, Stitch 2 coming soon. Stitch seeming like he's primed for Disney Plus. I went to go see Stitch with my nieces and nephew this year, and they were loving his crazy antics. The fact that the plot of the movie has been changed so that Lilo's sister literally leaves the island and puts Lilo up for adoption seems to do little to disparage the message of Ohana meaning family and family meaning no one getting left behind to them. Which is great. So yeah, I don't know.
Is that really what happens in the movie?
Yeah, man. That's the new plot of Lilo and Stitch.
Really?
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah. She's like, I gotta get this orphan off my hands. I gotta go to college on the mainland, baby.
What a pain she is.
Oh my god.
Also, she goes to like the University of California for marine biology.
Right.
When Hawaii itself already has the best school for marine biology.
Yeah, doesn't Hawaii have? Yeah.
Or they could have written in that she wants to study like engineering or something. Right? They could have made up so like they just absolutely shot themselves in the foot.
Hell, California, say she wants to be an actor.
Yeah, right. Sure. Why not? But so yeah, no, this definitely seems like, regardless of all of these obvious warning signs, I think Lilo and Stitch has been the most successful live action remake, probably because I think it has
more than Lion King and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I think people really reacted negatively to those, don't you? Like, we're gonna get a sequel.
I thought you meant financially. I'm sorry.
No. I just sort of mean
Lion King did get a prequel.
Yeah,
that's a great
point.
One saw we did get that. I forgot about that.
Lion King got a prequel.
No one fucking saw it, but
I forgot.
Forgot about the Barry Jenkins Mufasa movie that I refused.
Starring Aaron Pierre.
Yeah.
But my question was really, does Stitch does the iconography of Stitch, is that starting to replace the iconography of Mickey Mouse? Like,
no, I don't think so. I think that the legacy that they have, like the time, sweat, equity, or whatever, like however you want to think about it, right? Like the length of time that they have propped up those classic, every once in a while, Roger Rabbit or Chip and Dale, right? Guys like that have sort of like briefly entered the upper echelon of like
Simba
elite
or whatever,
level Disney characters.
Yeah.
No, like you'll get like it is Disney, Pluto, Goofy, Donald, Daisy, Minnie, right? Like that's the crew, right? And then like those guys, sometimes Chip and Dale are with them right now. That's like in vogue. There was a time at like the term, like between the 80s and the 90s, Roger Rabbit was with them a lot. The princesses kind of do their own thing, but like that main crew of like animated characters, if that's what you're talking about, no, like Stitch is not gonna enter that level of zeitgeist because like those guys are corporate like logos at this point, right? Like you put Mickey on something, it's the same as like putting the Disney logo on a thing,
right?
I don't think
I just
Stitch...
wonder. I just wonder if in 20 or 30 years,
sure,
people start to identify like Stitch with Disney more than just like the big circle years.
Maybe, but
which is nuts to think of.
Cultural moment more than anything.
I would go absolutely insane. I think that would if I'm so deep in Disney book territory right now. If suddenly Stitch became like Mickey Mouse famous, I think I would just like lose my mind.
It's starting to feel like it's a intentional choice. But anyway, that's a separate conversation. Anyway, Star Wars sucks, Bob Iger sucks, but Mandalorian, see it in theaters next year.
All right, when we get back, we're talking about Jared Leto. All right, guys, and we're finishing out this week's show talking about Tron Ares, which just absolutely thudded at the box office this weekend with $33.2 million from 4,000 theaters against a net production budget of at least $180 million. We'll find out.
Which CEO of Disney greenlit?
Oh, that'd be Bobby.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Iger.
Bobby Iger.
Iger, yeah.
Dumbass.
180 million known as the budget on Tron Ares for now. We'll find out in 3 to 5 years if it was secretly more. 27 million overseas, 60.2 global. Disney was.
Who wanted this?
Well,
who wanted this movie?
That's Jared Leto.
Other than Jared Leto.
Jared Leto is the answer. This is the thing. Jared Leto is the answer.
I'd like to add a caveat. There are people that wanted a Tron movie without.
There are people that wanted a Tron movie.
It does actually have a cool concept to it.
Tron movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. I do. Although, even though, still to Deepak's point, I do think we've been asking for a light cycle game more than we've been asking for another Tron movie.
Listen, I am,
and the rest of the cast is actually really good. Gillian Anderson, Evan Peters, Greta Lee from Past Lives, who's awesome. It's got a great cast. It's just
Bridges, man.
I'll be watching it as soon as it gets to streaming, and my money is already.
I will Disney Plus it for sure. I will Disney Plus it so fast.
I almost saw it this weekend, and then I didn't.
I have ridden the Tron Light Cycle race ride, whatever it's called, in the Magic Kingdom.
That's really good.
Nice.
I have seen this amount of money invested into a Tron experience in a different format. I can tell you that it is an enjoyable IP in some schema. And in my personal experience, the less Jared Leto is involved in that, the better. Right. That roller coaster is still the only piece of Tron media I have consumed. And let me tell you, it slaps.
Legacy is worth a watch.
And to your point, I've heard that like the action's pretty good. I've heard the visuals are good. I've heard the score is great, but then everything else when it comes to Jared Leto and just like the plot itself is just bad.
Legacy's got Jeff Bridges.
Twice. Well, I have it as getting a B+ cinema score,
which is not great.
They were like, digital de-aging is never going to get any better than 2011. We better pull the trigger on this one now.
You're not wrong.
That movie kind of gets away with it he's sort of
because he's like a digital man.
Yeah.
Right.
But it does not look good. You're right.
Speaking of, this is going to completely throw off this entire segment. Riley, I tried to show Bruno Big Lebowski for the first time while I was visiting.
I'm sorry.
You tried to?
Yep.
For the first.
Yep.
What?
I'll admit it. We're in California. I got too high. I fell asleep.
It's pretty late.
You pulled a Riley.
Oh, now I will not tolerate that being known as. I'm sorry, excuse me, but on my own podcast, I will not. I won't stand for this. How have you not seen The Big Lebowski, Bruno? You work for the show.
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Like I watched like maybe the first 20 minutes of it before falling asleep, and then like 2 or 3 days later, I still haven't seen it.
But it's just but in the past, like it never just you were
in your life.
It's probably one of the things he knows all the words. He just never actually seen.
Just never came up. Maybe it's true. Maybe I will watch it and like start hearing a bunch of shit and be like, I've been saying this for years. Whoops.
I hope so. I'm still looking forward to hearing about it.
It was also very funny just seeing another version of Big Lebowski a few days after seeing the first 20 minutes when I went to go watch One Bad After Another.
That's very.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Very interesting take.
A different version of the Big Lebowski.
This will likely
the character, not the story.
One Lebowski after another. Yeah.
Sources in Disney are saying that this will probably be the last Tron movie. It, like all blockbusters in 2025, ends with a post-credits teaser for things to come in the Tron universe, but I think those are probably nixed.
Because no one wanted this movie.
Well, so let's talk about that. Leto was the face of Tron Ares from the beginning.
Definitely.
Disney was somewhat worried about Leto on Tron Ares. This is all according to an article in the Hollywood Reporter entitled "No One Asked for This Reboot. Tron
They should have been.
may mark the end of Jared Leto's franchise leading days."
After this whole episode, I'm picturing a hard cut to Bob Iger with a microphone in his face, like, oh, I'm somewhat worried.
Moron.
So
the most overpaid moron on God's green earth.
Leto has 9 sexual assault allegations against him, none of them in court, just sort of out there. So that had Disney nervous about the potential for Tron as a property. There was reportedly some touch and go stuff inside the camp, Disney about.
That had me worried too.
So sorry,
Hire a different actor. What are you doing?
Well,
sorry, Jared Leto's sexual assault allegations is what jeopardizes Tron as an IP. It wasn't the fact that this IP has had no staying power for 40 fucking years.
Leto at this point, there's no way we can get Jared
It is inextricably linked to Leto. We can't.
There is one Tron movie in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. Then there's a sequel in 2010.
Yeah.
And now a third one in 2025.
Yeah.
And it's because
So,
now Detective wants to be sour. Just move on.
No. I mean, you're absolutely right. The problem is that he was a producer on the movie, and that he was never going to go away. Right. So, as they went through all these weird production rhythms,
just say no.
As they were in pre-production, as they were trying to figure out how to place him in the movie, him sort of being the star of the movie and all that, it changed and it kept morphing. But everybody at Disney seemed to be getting along with him. Everybody at Disney says, he was a consummate professional, a thing I've never heard said about Jared Leto in my entire life. And over the course of this thing, apparently just through sheer charisma and willpower, Jared Leto transformed Tron Ares into a Jared Leto production. And yeah, I mean, you guys are joking about it, but linked himself so inextricably to Tron as a property that nobody at Disney could see a way to do this without him. And so ultimately, when a version of this movie that was more a straight Tron Legacy sequel was thrown out, Leto was like, "That's fine. We're just doing Jared Leto Tron, baby."
Oh, it's Jared Leto.
And everybody at Disney was like, "Oh yeah, that does make sense." This is the thing. Everybody went.
Yeah, he's a cult leader.
He is a literal cult leader. I mean, yes. I was about to say everybody drank the Kool-Aid on this, and then I realized that might be too on the nose, given the fact that Jared Leto literally has his own cult. But yeah. So that's how we got to be here. And then they did this one, which was a one that nobody really liked or cared for. And then they put
everyone 30 Seconds to Mars was good. He has a power over people.
It's also I think people are just soured on him, right? I think people get it at this point. We saw Suicide Squad, we saw House of Gucci, we saw Morbius.
What are his franchise leading, other than Morbius, which obviously didn't go anywhere? He's not the lead in Suicide Squad.
No.
He's not the lead in Blade Runner.
No.
Yeah, in fact, he got chopped down a lot in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Suicide Squad is a garbage movie with or without him.
He's genuinely never... Are you asking, what are his, film bona fides? Because they don't exist.
No. I know what his film bona fides are. I'm just saying, where did this narrative come out that Jared Leto... They treat him like he's almost Robert Downey Jr. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s franchise days. Or what has he done?
It is purely the hype around him, right? It is just the fact that he has a cult of personality. That
I'm not kidding. This is a skill that he has, is to develop this air about him.
Yeah, and that is impressive in Hollywood right now, right? People want
also that he has an Oscar, probably.
People, yes,
but that's already over 10 years ago. It's irrelevant by the time Tron comes around.
That's still more recent than my Oscar, but yeah, fair enough.
But it is that right now in Hollywood, it is very popular. One of the most powerful people you can be in Hollywood is someone for whom people will turn out. right? And it's perceived that Jared Leto has that status. So
they're morons.
After
they're
he got
idiots.
after he got Best Supporting Actor in 2013, everybody anointed him as the guy, right? And then
Right.
he did Joker.
Yeah, but since then
Let's do
You
him.
had Suicide
I have him
Squad
right in front of me. He did Joker.
Go ahead.
He did Joker
No
in
one showed up.
2016 in Suicide
People
Squad.
showed up, but no one liked it. Yeah,
Fucking sucked. He did Blade Runner 2049 the next year.
great movie. People didn't show up for that though. Whatever.
He
fine.
did
That's not a Jared Leto movie.
He did something called The Outsider that no one's ever heard of.
That's actually a good. That's a Netflix movie.
He did The Little Things, which we liked a
I
lot,
actually
but he
did like
wasn't
that one.
necessarily
Yeah.
like anything in.
I mean, he's on the poster. Fine, whatever.
He's in the final scene of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
He's technically in Justice League.
Okay, yeah.
He does
Yeah, the
that
less said, the
ridiculous
better.
voice in House of Gucci.
Yeah, that's
He is
Cool.
Michael
Morbius.
Morbius, the living vampire. He
So he
was
says
the
more than that.
Hatbox Ghost in Disney's Haunted Mansion movie in
Remember the Haunted
2023,
Mansion
a
movie?
thing that came out.
Like
Only 'cause
2
you brought
years
it up.
ago, not even that
Right.
long ago.
And then he's in Tron Ares, and then he's going to be he's going to be Skeletor in Masters of the Universe next year. Like, this is just
That might actually be a good fit for him.
that will be a good fit for him because he's going to be playing a monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, so somehow he made this movie happen, and then it came out, and everybody went, "No, thank you." And I just feel like it's the first. Like, it feels like finally.
Everyone, a Jared Leto.
But I guess
film, huh?
what I'm driving at is how do you know that people were saying no thank you to a Jared Leto movie or no thank you to
a Tron movie. Well, I think I think this is going to be one of those instances where Hollywood just throws all of it out.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna mind.
Well,
Yeah. Like, if none of
I
those,
mean, Legacy did well. Yeah, Legacy made money.
There are dozens of us.
I would be surprised. I mean, that's my big skeptical eyebrow raise in this story is when they say Tron's gone, because
Was Tron ever here?
they just opened that very expensive roller coaster, and we've seen how this company operates in the past. Like, roller coaster means
You need in for
long-term
a penny,
investment.
for sure.
So again, we come back to the R word that is Bob Iger, who has an expensive new roller coaster created for this IP, and decides to hitch the. Let's be real. Tron Ares is supposed to be an advertisement for the roller coaster,
Probably, yeah.
and he wants to hitch the expensive new roller coaster to the wagon of not Jeff Bridges,
No.
not even Evan Peters or Greta Lee.
No.
He wants to hitch it to Jared Leto?
I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
he is apparently a very successful con man. I'm with you. I would have brought Garrett Hedlund back personally.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's a joke here. Bob Iger only makes rides that his father thinks are cool.
Yes, precisely.
Maybe.
All right. Well, in any event, we'll eventually see this movie and we'll talk about it and we'll see where it lands on our 2025 list. But I'm not keen to get to Tron Ares. I have missed, apparently, I've been searching in the background as we've been talking. I think I've missed my opportunity to see it in 4DX, which really does reduce my chances of seeing it in theaters pretty dramatically. Because if I could have experienced it as a theme park ride, I would have been pretty down to do that.
Yeah.
This has been Nerd Here Weekly. Thank you so much for listening. If you only checked us out on your podcast feed, we want to remind you can catch us in video too. You can go to youtube.com/@NerdHereFirst or NIHF.com, where you can get video episodes of these shows and subscribe so you never miss anything we do. Also, be sure to follow us on social media @NerdHereFirst, wherever you're doing your social media stuff. All right, before we get out of here, we're going to do some pop culture recommendations. These are things we've been watching, reading, eating, playing, or listening to that we've enjoyed lately, and we think you'll like too. And this week, let's kick it off with Bruno.
So I'm gonna do a bit of a double hitter this week. So I hit two things today. As of time of recording, today was the launch date for Ad Hoc Studios Dispatch on Steam.
I knew you were taking this one.
They're actually having a pretty good pretty good. It's 10% off introductory offer, which is what they sometimes do with these
I think
indies.
Steam does this for basically all their games the first couple weeks they're up, but it is nice.
It's a very fun, just a Telltale style game where you play a former superhero who has been forced into retirement, and then he joins the Superhero Dispatch Network, where he keeps receiving these emergency calls, and it's sort of just like a dispatch service, but you get the roster of superheroes to dispatch, and you need to like send them based on their stats, based on their abilities,
Yeah, this
and
is
based
like a
off what the
weird
situation is.
genre. You're right. There are like Telltale style cutscenes, but then like there's this whole other genre of dispatch, like
Right.
organizer games. It's very weird, where
It
it's about
was.
like you have an overhead map, and it's about putting your pawns in the right places and stuff.
It's
And this
also
one
very
is a cool
cinematic,
thing.
and you can really just sit back and enjoy the story as you're watching it, as you're
Yeah.
playing it as well. It's in a collaboration with Critical Role, so there's going to be a lot of recognizable voices from there in the game. The main character is played by Aaron Paul. His best friend is played by Jeffrey Wright. It's a pretty good time. On the
Yeah, I
other
played the
side,
demo for this and I really liked it, but I have not gotten the full thing yet.
DC today released their fourth and final issue of the New History of the DC Universe by Mark Waid and a group of tremendous artists. And basically, this is just like a narration only story, just takes place over 4 issues, with an in character narrator who just gives you like a very streamlined version of the DC universe. It's just so you can be sort of like quickly caught up to speed. And it's a bit of a like these are thick issues, but the thing is like the second half of them is like actual bibliographies about the events that are being narrated. If you want to go back and read those specific issues as well, so I've been having a lot of fun with these. This is the fourth issue out in there right now, so you can pick up like the whole box set if you want, or they'll be having the collected edition out later as well.
Very nice.
Fantastic. Jackson?
Okay. Sorry, I need to pick something.
Do you need to pass? Is this an unprecedented pass?
No. Here's a good one. I forgot it a little bit ago, but I've been playing a game called Mega Bonk, which was it's a bit like Vampire Survivors, Riley, but it's
See,
in
like,
three
I saw
dimensions.
Megabunk and I thought to myself, oh, it's like Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, but it's like low poly 3D, like it's the N64 Vampire Survivors, which is pretty fun. I mean, it's fun for all the same reasons. So I've been enjoying that. Sadly, I haven't had a ton of free time in the last week, but yeah, I continue to play Hades also. I'm so close to beating Hades 2. I just need to get like one more run.
Fair enough. Deepak?
My pop culture rec is a bit of a spoiler alert, but today they dropped the wedding episode for the new Love is Blind season. This is by far the best season. Everyone is trash. Everyone sucks. All the couples fail. Of like 6 couples that make it out of the pods, only 2 make it to the altar, and they both don't work. It's awesome. They're all terrible. The reunion's next week. I can't wait. Go watch Love is Blind.
Deepak's reality TV binge continues to fancy and delight me. The Year of Luigi continues for me. Luigi's Mansion 2, Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch currently, Luigi's Mansion OG coming on Switch Virtual Console on All's Hallows Eve. So I will be eyeball deep in my little green guy and his vacuum ghost busting powers next week. You,
Hell yeah.
however, dear audience member, need to make sure to be back here on NIHF.com. If you've made it all the way to the end of this episode, I'm going to give you a fun little treat. You're going to get to watch 2 of my cast members react to this news in real time. We are going to have a reporter on the ground at the Tribeca Film Festival in Portugal next week, October 26th through 30th. And it's great. She's fantastic. We're going to be introducing you to her. She's going to be here on this very show talking about what she sees there, what she reviews, what she gets to see, and what she likes and doesn't like. We also are very hopeful that she will be able to talk to some talent there, including, fingers crossed, a potential interview with Oscar-nominated director Yorgos Lanthimos, potentially coming to this very podcast feed soon. So all that and more. Make sure you subscribe. If you've lasted this long into the show and haven't signed up yet, this is your cue to do so, so that you can make sure you're back here next week to hear